Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm here to solve risk management rules of security engineer. There are some easy questions that you can solve by reading tasks. I will just read the answers of these questions, and let's start with task 1. First answer of first question is risk reduction and risk acceptance. You can understand why after you read these paragraphs, okay? And task 2, here we have some another questions. Answers are risk, vulnerability, asset, and threat. Again, you can understand easily the reasons or the why the answers are like that after you read these paragraphs. In task 3, we have a framework question. Actually, it's a methodology, risk assessment methodology, and the answer is this one. Here you can read. For task 4, we don't need any answer, and also for task 5 and task 6. But you have to read task 6 and task 7 carefully to solve the practical questions. Let's move on with task 7. We have some practical questions here, and here we have some mathematical operations and some formulas. We have to find the answer whether we implement safeguard or not, okay? For this question, asset value is 2000, exposure factor is 50%, and ARO, which is this one, annual rate of occurrence is 2, and the cost of safeguard is $20, and exposure factor after safeguard is 10%. Here the mathematical operations that we need to do is first this one. We have to find single loss expectancy. To find it, we have to multiply asset value with exposure factor, and the answer after that is 1000, okay? And then we have to multiply this 1000 with this annual rate of occurrence, and after that the final answer is $2000. After the safeguard, we have to think like that. The cost of safeguard is $20, but the SLA, which is single loss expectancy after the safeguard, becomes like that: 2000 multiplied by 10%, which is 1000 plus cost of safeguard, okay? And this way it looks it makes sense that we have to implement safeguard. Second question, asset value is 1000, exposure factor 5%, annual rate of occurrence is 0.25, cost of safeguard $50, and exposure factor after safeguard is 1%. Let's calculate it again. 1000 multiplied by 5%, the answer is then $50, and we have to multiply with this one, and then it becomes 12.5, okay? The total cost of and this vulnerability is 12.5 before the safeguard. After safeguard, let's add the cost of safeguard. Okay, let's keep it in your mind. But EF after safeguard is 1%. Let's calculate 1000 with 1%. The answer is 10. And 10 plus this one is 2.5. 2.5 plus $50, it is 52 $5. At the beginning the cost was around $12, but now It's more than $12. So we have to decline safeguard. For this question, the asset value is 10,000, EF is 25%, annual rate of accuracy is 0.35, cost of safeguards $70, and EF after safeguard is 0%. Let's calculate before the safeguard part. 10,000 multiplied by 25%, it is 2,500, and we have to multiply it by this one. I won't do this because it is clear. Actually, it's obviously we have to implement safeguard, because after the safeguard there won't be any exposure of factor. As you can see, it is 0%, and the cost is only $70 for this one. It means if we implement a safeguard, then we won't have any problem with this server. And before the safeguard, the cost of this vulnerability is more than $70. Okay, so in this scenario we have to implement safeguard, and we finally captured our flag. It means we successfully did this practical question. Okay, let's move on with task 8. You want to confirm whether the new policy enforcing laptop disk encryption is helping mitigate data breach risk. What is that you are monitoring in this case? It is effectiveness, and you can understand why after you read this paragraph, which is effectiveness monitoring. And last question, you are keeping an eye on new regulations and laws. What is that you are monitoring? You are monitoring compliance. Okay, new laws might see light, new regulatory requirements might come into effect, and new policies might be enforced. Although the pace of change is not as fast as in other areas, these are still areas that the risk management team need to keep an eye on and monitor. And task 9, here we don't need any answer. And here we have again a practical question. Let's solve it together. To analyze controls and safeguards effectively, hover over elements and explore the interface to gain valuable insights. Let's proceed. Here you will click only this laptop, and here risk theft from office, asset value is 2,500, EF is 100, CLA, okay, I can see the CLA. As you can see, it's already calculated by the program. ARO, which is annual rate of accuracy, it is 0.05, and loss value, it is also calculated. You see, before this one we have to calculate it by ourselves, but this time they are all calculated, so it's good. We will just see the answer. We can see it easily. Cost of safeguard is $45, and EF after safeguard, oh okay, the final value of this vulnerability before safeguard is this one. Okay, after safeguard the exposure factor increases, but cost of safeguard is less than loss value, is less than before the safeguard. Now we have to calculate it by ourselves. Cost, okay, no, EF also decreases. You see, EF before safeguard is 1%, and EF after safeguard is 6%. So it's clear, it's cheaper than the first one. Okay, so we have to implement our safeguard here, so we can approve control. Click here to interact. Okay, let's interact with this laptop. Loss value is 420. Cost of safeguard is 200. And after $200, after we pay $200, we won't see any problem because exposure factor is 0. So $200 is cheaper than for $100, right? So we have to approve control here too. And here we have some mobile phones. Let's click on it. Here the loss value is this one, and after the safeguard, cost of safeguard is this one, and EF after safeguard is 40%. Before the safeguard, EF was 100%. So EF is decreasing and cost is decreasing. As you can see, before the safeguard, cost was this one, which is for almost $400, and the EF was 100%. But after the safeguard, we successfully decreased the cost, and EF after safeguard, we also successfully decreased the exposure factor. So we have to approve control here too. Here we have some extra tools. Let's start with this one. Loss value is almost $900. Cost of safeguard is $75. EF after safeguard 5%, but EF before safeguard is 85%. After the safeguard, let's calculate it this time. We will multiply with these and these, and after doing that, the cost will be, or the final value will be 150, and then we have to multiply these 150 with annual rate of occurrence, and after do that, it's almost lower than, it's almost less than $75. Okay, and also we will add the cost of safeguard. It will be almost $150, and it is obviously cheaper than this one. It is almost $900, but after the safeguard, total cost is almost $150. So we can approve control here too. We did this one, right? Let's do it this one. Loss value is 50. You see, here we have a different situation. Before safeguard, the loss value, the cost of this vulnerability is $15, but just the price for safeguard is more expensive than this value. It is $250. So we can accept the risk here because the solution is too expensive for us. Here loss value is $15 and cost of safeguard is $250. So here we can reject control, and here we have a tablet. Let's click on it. It was a laptop. Okay, the loss value is 500 and cost of safeguard is $75. With the safeguard, we decrease exposure factor, and cost of the safeguard, of course, is cheaper than the loss value before the safeguard. Here also we can approve the control, no problem. And let's finally click on the door. Loss value is $2,000 and cost of safeguard is $750, and EF after safeguard, as you can see, we decreased exposure factor after we implement a safeguard. It was 100%, but now it's 15%, and it's cheaper than the loss value. Okay, so we can approve control here too. And finally, we captured our flag, and it means we successfully completed our practical question. Okay, that was all, guys. I hope I could help you. I hope you like it. You can subscribe my channel to support me. I know sometimes my English is not enough for teaching some things, but I'm getting better, and I hope I will be better. And you can join me with this journey. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. I wish you a nice day.